good Friday morning. We will make this a feel-good Friday. We're going to add some football in because it is a football Friday. But, of course, it's all about the New York Yankees last night, who end up losing again to the Houston Astros in Houston, and they strike out 13 times this time. They barely get anything going. Framber Valdez was absolutely spectacular except for his little slip-up with his double error. He is a championship pitcher, just spinning it, as we say, Boomer, all night long. And the Astros really had one big hit, the Bregman 3-run home run, and that was it. Aaron Judge got every Yankee fan to their feet in the 8th inning, but it's not Yankee Stadium. That ball would have been out in Yankee Stadium. It wasn't out in Houston. And excuse me, here we are again with the Yankees not being able to hit against the Houston Astros with their season on the line. They come back home. They got 3 games at home, and it feels like they got to win every single one of them. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, G. And, you got the changes you asked for yesterday.
Yep.
You wanted Aaron Boone to change the lineup. You wanted Aaron Boone to put the young kids out on the field. You wanted Aaron Boone to see if he could shake something out of this team that has been basically dormant offensively.
Drop Donaldson in the lineup?
He did. He did everything that you asked for, everything that the Yankee fan asked for. He did it all. He tried to do everything. And then when it doesn't work, now all of a sudden it reeks of panic. I don't think it reeks of panic. I just think that the Houston Astros are a really good baseball team. A really good baseball team that the Yankees have a hell of a hard time beating down there in Houston. Even when Framber Valdez, throws the ball away when, Judge is, comebacker, which was ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking, okay, maybe, just maybe the Yankees would get a little luck and something would happen. And, it just...
Well, it did. I mean, they got 2 runs back.
But it never really, manifested itself into anything else. Because why?
Strikeouts.
And they didn't hit any home runs.
Right, so they got the 2 runs back, right. They didn't hit any home runs, and they struck out. So they did get the 2 runs back, but they had a runner on and 1 out, and you had back-to-back strikeouts in that situation with Donaldson and Higashioka right after that. So that inning where you had all the momentum, get another hit, work out a walk, get some more traffic on the bases. You got him on the ropes. All right, it's 3-2 now, and you couldn't capitalize there. And then you couldn't capitalize, obviously, in the 8th inning, and it felt like, I don't know, off the bat, I thought that Aaron Judge, that was a home run. I'd seen enough of those this year, and I know that a lot of those home runs are Yankee Stadium home runs, but I thought he got it. I was like, Aaron Judge got it. There's no doubt that ball is out. And then, of course, right there at the wall, dies, and that was the end of that. Now, Harrison Bader, by the way, I don't know how he reads that in the way that he does and tags up from first. I mean, that is a heads-up play. So he gets in scoring position there. And then once again, they could not get the big hit after that. And for the Yankees, and I don't know if people heard last night or stayed up for the postgame or just shut the game off, but for the Yankees to make excuses in the way that they did after this game is really, really disappointing. Now, I'm sure Jerry's going to have some of this stuff when he comes in with his update in a little bit, but Aaron Boone saying that who would have thought the roof open kind of killed us tonight is insane to me to say that after you've struck out 30 times in 2 games. Roof open, closed, you struck out 30 times in 2 games. And then Severino goes, I made a really good pitch in that situation to Bregman. It just got up in the wind, and the wind took it out. Okay, so the wind knocked Aaron Judge's home run ball down, but somehow carried Bregman's out. And by the way, that wasn't a good 1-2 pitch. It was a 1-2 pitch to Bregman. It caught too much of the plate. I mean, you see Higashioka setting up higher than where that ball was, and he hit it out of the ballpark.
And that's when you're playing the Astros and you're playing at this level and you're talking about these particular games, that's the difference. It's 2 inches here, 2 inches there, and, maybe the game's different. And, quite frankly, it's impossible for them to win in Houston.
They can't do it.
It's impossible.
They can't do it.
So it's not like anything that is surprising to me. Surprising to me would be had the Yankees won 6-2 or had the Astros won 6-2. These games are really well played for the most part, with the exception of the Yankee strikeouts. The Yankee strikeouts are maddening.
Yeah.
And as you just said, 13 again last night. I mean, it is almost like everybody's going up there just trying to hit home runs.
Well, Giancarlo Stanton is the only one who was accountable. He said that they got to make mid-at-bat adjustments, and they got to choke up, they got to get shorter, they got to battle more in the box. because it's not working what's going on, that there's too many free swings and too many guys doing exactly what you're talking about, trying to hit a 10-run home run when that isn't possible. He's the only one that really had any accountability last night. But, watching Verlander with his curveball and slider in Game 1, watching Fromber, who, by the way, the guy's not blowing you away. He's throwing in the mid-90s, and he's just keeping hitters off balance with his breaking stuff. It didn't, watching that game last night, I felt like I could count the fastballs on one hand that Fromber Valdez threw in the first 3 innings. It's just keeping these guys off balance, breaking pitches out of the zone. Sometimes it'd catch part of the plate, but most of the time they're just flailing. And hats off to him, because that's the season that he's had. But my God, make an adjustment at some point during the game. For Christ's sake.
I'll tell you an adjustment that needs to be made. The adjustment is that Carpenter does not need to get a chance to hit. And it's really tough on him too. And by the way, he's not making any excuses. He's accepting that he's failed here, and he's failed here the last 3 games, and he is just completely out of whack. And we can all see it. And I don't know what the alternative is. That's the thing. That's the left-handed bench, the bat off the bench.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring him in, and, he can't hit Presley. He just can't hit Presley. They can't hit Presley.
No,
it's just not happening.
Yeah, with Hicks being out, obviously Rizzo's another lefty who's already been in the lineup. There was really nobody else left, but I just couldn't and I know that Higashi pinch hits for Higashioka, who, essentially did nothing last night either. He had no shot at the plate. But if I'm Aaron Boone, and I've seen what Matt Carpenter was the first 2 games, the first game of the series, and then obviously that at-bat that he had against the Guardians, I cannot tell him to go put a helmet on. I can't do it. And exactly what we thought was going to happen, happened. He check swings, doesn't check swing, actually goes around on a miserable pitch.
Yeah,
a pitch that a Major League Baseball player should not even – you spit at that thing. You do not even approach that pitch with your bat, and of course he gets called out. The ball bounced. 82-mile-an-hour breaking ball that bounced off the ground is what he's striking out to on a 1-2 pitch, by the way.
He's completely out of whack, and anybody who's ever played baseball can truly, I guess, empathize with him that, what? It's just not there for him. It's just not there for him. And they just keep going to him. It's almost like it's a broken record, and it's frustrating. But there's nothing worse than watching your team just absolutely flail away at pitches out of the strike zone, not be able to make contact, not hit any home runs. And I know that it's frustrating. I sit here and I say to myself, this is exactly kind of like what I expected.
Well, yeah.
The Astros are a very good team that the Yankees can't beat in Houston.
Yeah, so that they're the Patriots to everybody in the AFC those years. They're the Astros are to the Yankees. The Astros are to the Yankees what the Yankees were to a lot of teams in the American League back during the dynasty. They're the Bulls to the Knicks, the Astros to the Yankees right now. They're just that team that is better than you are that you can't beat.
Especially in their building.
Yeah, especially down there in Houston. Now, you have an opportunity coming back to Yankee Stadium, but my Lord, what makes you think that this team all of a sudden is going to wake up? That ball is out in Yankee Stadium, last night off the bat, Aaron Judge, so maybe you think, there's some more home runs there and they'll squeeze out a couple of wins, but, they're going to have to at least win one game, and that's if they win all 3 at Yankee Stadium, at least win a game in Houston, and I don't think they're capable of doing it. I just don't think that they are. And, oh, by the way, Game 5, you're going to get Verlander on regular rest. And then I think Game 6 would be Fromber again on regular rest. These 2 guys that just made you look silly the last couple of games.
Well, and you're talking about regular rest and all this other stuff, but that goes back to the previous series. Mm-hmm. It all goes back to the previous series for the Yankees and the Guardians.
That's right.
And it goes back to the previous series where Houston took care of business. And, and by the way, they're doing this all without an ounce of impact from Jose Altuve offensively.
Yeah, he finally hit a ball hard, and Gleyber Torres was able to snag that and turn that really amazing double play, which was a great moment in the game. But no, he's 0 for 23 in the playoffs.
It's unbelievable when you think about that. And if he gets hot or something, these games are probably 3 or 4 run difference makers he is. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, Jordan's not done anything really either. He had a single last night, but he's not done anything either.
It's just because the Yankees have done absolutely nothing, or done just a little less than the Astros have done.
Now, if I presented you a glass half full, I don't believe this, but if I presented this to you, since you usually try to do that to me, tell me if this has any merit if you're a Yankee fan this morning. All
Okay.
right. One, Aaron Judge missed a home run that would have given them the lead by, 5 feet? Maybe 6 feet?
To me, an out's an out.
Okay, so that's not a part of it. Then they did get runners home from third base with less than 2 outs twice last night. They did that. And it was one pitch that ended up costing the New York Yankees last night. So all those things put together as they head back with Cole and Nestor Cortez, can you say that the gap between the Astros and the Yankees is that large when I present it in that way?
I mean, the gap is not large at all, except for the fact that the Yankees strike out way too much.
Yeah.
It's just too many swings and misses, man. I mean, if you're gonna strike out 30 times, you better hit 10 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing it. And yesterday, that's what they're built for. They're not doing it. And again, you always got to remind people: no Benintendi, no LeMahieu. It's not like they haven't tried to get the right team together. They have. Those two guys are not in the lineup, unfortunately, because of injury. Those things happen. And it's really unfortunate because Severino did pitch well last night. And they did. They did play good defense last night. I mean, these are good baseball games. They're just frustrating baseball games because of the amount of strikeouts that the Yankees are putting up. That's the thing that's so frustrating to me. If that's my team, and we've had this problem as Met fans. Mm-hmm. Our team was supposed to be playing games like Cleveland plays games. Not a lot of home runs, but a lot of back-to-back singles, take the extra base wherever you can do that. The Yankees are not built to do that. The Yankees are built they're the home run team. They're the team that gets off the bus. Everybody goes, oh my God, look at these guys. And they're just, they didn't hit any last night, and they struck out 13 times. There are moments in games where, Gleyber Torres could come through, sure. Donaldson could come through for sure. Carpenter has chance after chance after chance to come through, and hasn't hit. I don't even think he's fouled the ball off.
No, I mean it's been pathetic, and you're right about the frustration. There's nothing more frustrating than thinking your team is going to play a certain way, and they do exactly that negatively. Meaning that they're not going to hit, they're going to strike out a ton, and they're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what we've been saying about the Yankees for the longest time, that they can't hit in the postseason against good pitching, and that's what they've done. Now, the LeMahieu thing, him being out, he's been on this team for a long time, and he would be a huge add if he were to be healthy in this series, which he's not. Benintendi, Brian Cashman went out and got Andrew Benintendi for exactly this reason. And the guy couldn't stay healthy.
Well, he also went out and got Harrison Bader.
He did, and he's been great.
Yeah.
He's been great. Defense, and he's another, but he didn't really necessarily get him for his bat. His bat has been awesome. But Benintendi was the guy offensively he's going to work out those at-bats. He's going to have a high on-base percentage. He's going to hit that double down the line. He's not going to be all or none. He went out and got him specifically for this series and to not be an all-or-nothing team, and he's not on the team. So is that making an excuse for Brian Cashman, or is it just providing an explanation as to what team is now going up against the Houston Astros?
Well, I mean, he tried. He tried to fix the team. He always moves and tweaks around the lineup and the roster in the middle of the season. That's where Carpenter came from. That's where Benintendi came from. That's where Harrison Bader came from. He tried. And, when guys are injured, what do you do? I mean,
the right built this team way it needs to be rebuilt.
And by the way, with the exception of Clark Schmidt, the bullpen is doing their job.
Well, I mean, because last night they were going to guys that were the people they counted on, Loizica and Peralta.
But they did their job.
They did, which is what we expected out of those guys. The previous day it's Clark Schmidt and it's Frankie Montas. You're like, what are we doing?
I mean, but that's again, in these tight games, there are going to be these moments, and the guys that you put out there, they're either going to perform or they're not, because I always tell you the proof is in the performance. And, again, their bullpen did what they needed to do last night.
When they are rested and they can use Loaizaga, they can use Peralta, they can use Clay Holmes, I don't feel terrible about the bullpen. The problem is they never have a lead against the Astros. They have not. They've played 9 games against the Houston Astros this year combined in the regular season and the postseason. They have not held a lead, the Yankees, for an entire inning. So if they've taken the lead, they've given it up in the other half inning. They've not held a lead for an entire inning against the Astros in the 9 times that they have played them. So what is a bullpen when you don't have a lead?
Yeah, but, it could have been 10 times worse. It could have turned out where they wouldn't have had a shot in the 9th inning. But then again, they don't have a shot in the 9th inning.
I was going to say, did they?
They can't hit Presley.
Did they?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they didn't have a shot. They had a shot in the 8th inning. They did not have a shot in the 9th inning.
Yeah, well, what did he do? He brought Presley in.
Mm-hmm, of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's the formula, isn't it?
Dusty Baker with the rubber gloves.
With the rubber gloves. Yep. Checking prostates in between innings. Dusty Baker. All right, it is Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.